Welcome back to the C-Suite. I'm Danielle Deshaw. On this segment, we have a guest who's going to be sharing with us her journey through job loss through COVID and how she was able to see an opportunity within it. Tamara Colaizzi is the owner and founder of Colaizzi Fitness, and she's going to be talking to us how she was able to see opportunity within loss. So welcome, Tamara, to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today.
I'm very welcome and very grateful for you to be able to share this journey with you that you've been on. So can you kind of take us through kind of what happened during COVID and what was going through your mind when you ended up becoming aware that you're going to be losing your job?
Sure. So COVID has put a huge dent in the recreation industry. And I was working in a facility that has a beautiful warm water therapy pool. And I was working in that space and running the programs. But of course, with COVID, our pool was closed. And although my employer was looking for places to put me, after a while, they decided that it wasn't going to work out and they laid me off, which at first was I had such mixed emotions about it because I have been at my last job for 8 years. And it really was my heart and soul and passion to work with my members in their aquatic experiences. So, I had a lot of anger and sadness because of COVID and because of that loss. But at the same time, oddly enough, I also had this great sense of relief and this amazing excitement bubbling up inside of me because I could see that there was a new opportunity for me.
And really what you've experienced, that's something that so many women, especially over the last year, have experienced because of COVID and the She session and everything that's happening. So how were you able to shift your experience or even your mindset and your perspective and see opportunity?
So it's the funny thing is I did see some opportunity and I was a bit excited about the opportunity of like working towards this hobby business that I've had for the last few years of spending my summers at the lake teaching supboarding. And so as much as I was excited about that, I was still kind of tied down to this idea that I need to quickly replace my job. I put out tons of applications and I was getting some pretty sad results. And it wasn't until a very good friend of mine said, you know what, why don't you check out some different opportunities? Because I think this would be a good fit. And it turned out that what I had this commitment of wanting to work my hobby business, but I just didn't have the skills to really make it my full-time employment. So that's where the big shift came, where I realized that, you know what, I do have this wonderful thing that I can make into real employment for myself. And it's what I loved, which is being at the lake, teaching other people how to stand up paddleboard. So I just needed to figure out, okay, so how do I make this work? Because it was very overwhelming. And so what it really came down to is learning what resources were out there.
And then how did you know where to start looking for resources or how to take that next step?
So I was very, very fortunate. I had some really good guidance from friends. And then the big piece was really being told about the Laurier Women's Entrepreneurship Center. And I'm telling you, they have copious amounts of resources. And I just happened to come across this opportunity right where they were taking applications for their 16 session Start My Business Bootcamp. So it was just perfect timing. And so I applied and got accepted. And now I'm in actually just about the middle of the program where I'm learning all these wonderful things that I need every single week. We have 2 sessions a week where I'm learning how to build my business plan and how to take all of these skills that I didn't even actually knew I needed, like about social media and how to use that for my advantage. For example, the importance of actually having a plan. And then on top of it, they also have these lean-in circles and webinars and all this networking opportunity. So it's just overwhelming, actually now with resources. And actually another resource that kind of branched off of working with WEC was finding out about small business enterprises centers. I didn't even know that the province had these centers, like in all these different cities across the province, where we have all these resources at our fingertips on how to build our business plan, how to use all the things that are around us, like our social media, networking, to become successful. And so they have all these workshops and webinars and networking opportunities so that we can start our business, our small business, and be successful with it.
That's wonderful. And really, you've gone from having this full-time, kind of corporate career with a side career to having a full-time entrepreneurial business now. So kind of what fears did you have, kind of, would it be little baby steps going towards, or taking that leap to say, I'm going to commit to really owning this business and this journey that I'm on now?
Making that leap to committing to myself, so large, because of the idea that I am now asking my family to depend on my faith in myself, my own self-trust, and I need them to trust me as well, because it is our income and we need that. So having my family support, having the information so that I can go forward in my business, help me get past that first fear of like, oh my gosh, am I going to be able to do this? Am I going to be able to afford to do this? Is my family going to be losing, their income and their survival because I'm taking this leap? And they're not, because I've got these resources. I feel so confident, and I just can't wait to get started.
And how long was it between when you got notice that you were losing your job to when you made this commitment?
6 weeks. 6 weeks of serious reflection, huge roller coaster of emotions, a lot of talking with my family, a lot of pros and cons written down on paper, really trying to decide, is this the right thing for me? Or do I just want to quickly find a job that is not in my field, that is less compensation that I'm really valued at? And is that worth it, or do I take this leap? So yeah, it was a very hard 6 weeks though.
And so now with this opportunity that you are pursuing, what are you looking most forward to?
I am looking forward to getting out onto the beach, doing what I absolutely love with all my heart and passion. And one of the biggest things I look forward to is actually showing my kids that I can do this, and that they have the same power.
Thank you so much, Tamara, for sharing your powerful journey that you've been on, and really kind of how you saw opportunity when you were encountered with loss.
Oh, thank you so much for letting me share my story.
You're welcome. And for our viewers, hang on, we're going to be going to another quick commercial break. When we come back, if your organization needs to add more depth to your diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, our next guest is going to show you how you can do that. We will be right back.